I cover, actually, I'm the regional manager, and I cover the whole Northeast region. I'm going to be connecting you guys with my local person she lives in Madison, New Jersey,
Oh, okay.
so that when, God willing, we can get back into offices, she can actually be in your office a little bit better than I can, because it's a couple hours to Jersey City from here.
Tell me
So,
about the flowers yet. So
yeah.
we're on recordings now. So me and you, we just have like a one-on-one. If any agents jump in, then we'll answer their questions as they come in. But tell me a little bit about you and about American Home Shield.
Okay. Well, I have actually been with American Home Shield for 17 years. Started out as a regional sales rep, and that's how I started working with KPG. Actually, I've known Tony Caracaza for many, many years. And we've partnered in the Philadelphia locations for KPG for several years. And now we've expanded up into North Jersey. Um, so
And
um,
that's how you here with us.
that's right. Happy to be here.
Now, American Home Shield, tell us a little bit about what you offer for sellers, what you offer for buyers, and if anything for renters.
Okay. Um, Actually, we have a pretty good product line, and it has evolved and developed over the years. This is our 50th year anniversary as a warranty company. So we've got some good established roots nationally. And we've had 50 years to sort of develop and refine our product. We always like to make fun of our competition and call them, we say we're the innovators and they're the imitators, because we'll bring something out and they'll follow suit. So we were some of the first to add things like undetectable pre-existing conditions, um, no denials for rust, corrosion, and sediment, no waiting period for buyers once they settle on the property, things like that. We also were innovators in adding things like our rekey program. And what that is it's available to all of our buyer clients. It's not an option on our warranty. Um, when a buyer settles on the home and closes with the warranty, we will, for the cost of the service fee, which in New Jersey is $125, in Pennsylvania it would be $100. Because sadly, everything in New Jersey costs a little more. Um,
Nature of the
so
beast.
yeah, right. Um, but for the cost of the service fee, we'll dispatch a local locksmith, and they'll come and rekey up to 6 keyholes and provide 4 identical keys for that homeowner. And that's not a one and done thing. So if you want to, like, my kids when they were in school would lose their keys every other day. So let's say I wanted to possibly rekey the locks, I could do that. All it is the service fee. And again, it's not an option. That's something that we added to our product line recently. We also have the opportunity for home buyers to take advantage of our electronics coverage program, which is an innovation that we've added. Basically, it's the same sort of a warranty you would get like at a Best Buy when you check out on your laptop, for example, except it's an annual fee and it covers all of the electronics in your home for a pretty reasonable price. So things like your TV, your laptops, your computers, your gaming systems, everything pretty much but your phone. Um, and it's an annual fee that's very, very reasonable when you start comparing it to doing individual warranties. And it's actually a third party company that does that work for us. It's Assurian, and Assurian's the same company that does Verizon phones,
Right.
which is
Hmm.
probably why we don't do phones, is my guess. Um, but that's another option that we've made available to buyers. We also have our HVAC system tune up, and in the spring and in the fall, for $75, we'll come out and have the system evaluated to see if there are any weaknesses or any things that need to be addressed, so that we sort of stay ahead of the curve. Because traditionally, especially on the East Coast, we find that um, everybody on the East Coast is going to turn their air conditioner on the same day, because that's the way it works. And everybody, for the most part, is going to turn their heater on the same day. So what we're trying to do is stay a little bit ahead of the curve. So in the event that there is a problem, we know about it in advance and we can address that before the rush, so that your clients and our clients don't have to wait for service.
Or pay an
That's worked.
extra emergency fee, because sometimes you wait last minute, everybody's in demand, now you at a higher price.
You're at a higher price. And you know what happens typically is there's usually, especially with air conditioning, I call it my Black Friday, because it's when everybody turns their air conditioner on the entire East Coast on the same day. And God just didn't make that many technicians. They can't all be at the same place at the same time. So anything we can do to sort of move them ahead a little bit of the curve is something that we would try to do. Um, what else? We also have a little bit of a different structure in our programs, where most warranty companies offer you a plan and then you can upgrade that plan. And it will incorporate things like removal of defective equipment, code upgrades, permits, trying to think, undetectable pre-existing conditions, those types of things. Our product is designed a little differently in that we allow you to cover items that you want to cover versus with all the same high level of coverage. So we don't have a like a first class upgrade or a premium upgrade. All of our plans have the same high level of coverage. The way it's structured is that if you strictly want to cover the major mechanical systems, you can do that. So our Shield Essential plan, the base plan, will cover plumbing, heating, electric, air conditioning, and water heater. Doesn't include appliances. If you don't want them, you don't have to have them. Then the next level up is our Shield Plus plan, and that includes all the major mechanicals, plumbing, heating, electric, water heater, so forth. But adds in also appliances. So all of your kitchen appliances, including the washer, dryer, and fridge. And then the highest level of coverage has the basic systems, major mechanical systems, plus all of your appliances, and adds in some additional things like a garage door opener and ceiling fans and so forth. The biggest advantage to our highest level of coverage is that it covers 100% of the refrigerant if you are having to replace your air conditioning system or if it needs to be charged, for example, where the other two plans don't only cover partial refrigerant costs.
So in essence, if we get that highest plan that you have, and we put that with that offers, like you were saying yesterday, we can offer that plan or ask the seller to pay for that plan, and then we can pretty much say we can waive this or waive that because it's going to be covered.
Yeah, yeah. In this particular market, and you're the broker of record, so you understand where I'm coming from. If you go in and you have a client who's waiving inspections, they've waived the appraisal fee, and they're overlooking things because they want that house, and that's how it's going right now because people are just crazy trying to get that property. Um, we're recommending highly that you put a home protection plan in to protect against post-sale liability issues, because I shared I think yesterday on the call that we know that nationally about 27% of all of our clients have a claim within the first 60 days. And that's when people are doing due diligence. When people are just kind of making it happen, it could go up. And you as a buyer's agent don't want that phone call from your client. You want a client for life. You want to develop a relationship with that client and have repeat and referral business. Any negative experience that they're going to have is going to reflect on you as the buyer agent, right?
Exactly. We're not saying to tell our clients to waive it, but if they should choose to waive anything, at least that's some type of assurance that they're protected should
Exactly.
they choose to waive any
And
part of their.
we always recommend that you have the client sign an accept or decline, just so you cover yourself as the real estate professional, so that if something does happen and God forbid there is some legal action, you've got documentation. You know what? Because the first thing that you're going to get asked if you get into small claims court is the judge is going to ask, did you have a home warranty? Did you get offered a home warranty? Because if you have a home warranty or you were offered a home warranty and you declined it, then you don't have a leg to stand on, quite frankly, because they gave you an opportunity to protect yourself and you didn't take it. So
Now, my previous brokerage, sorry to cut you off, we had those, and I guess I can make those up now. But when we had warranties, a document and you check whether you accept or you reject.
We
So
actually have it on our application page, an accept or decline box, and you can have your client sign that, or if you want to have your create your own form, you may want to check with Tony because they may have something on KPG that you guys can use. Because I know, do you know Dominic Cardone? You probably met him at some point.
I've seen him on a meeting. I haven't met him directly.
Yeah, Dominic, at least like in Pennsylvania, he used to be the past president of the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. And so he's very up on all the different documents. But I'm pretty sure that they have something you might be able to borrow language from if you wanted to make like a generic company form. But it's probably not a bad idea just to
I'll reach
protect
out to
yourself.
Tony and see what we can get. Will American Home Shields be providing us brochures and things like that?
I actually already ordered brochures and a brochure stand to be sent to your office. So they should be arriving momentarily. We also have sign writers and tent cards and open house brochures. We have a number of different marketing materials that we can share with agents depending on what, how they want to use and what they want to use. I find that it doesn't make a lot of sense to send stuff into the office, especially now because most people are not in the office. But if somebody is trying to do a
Will they
special
come to
camp,
pick up their signs for the open house so they can pick up those signs?
exactly, that would work out well. And we have some door hangers that basically talk about the idea of using a home warranty, and it has a spot where the agents can put their business card. All these things are available at no cost to the agents. They just have to let us know they want them.
Yep, send them
And
because I
now,
know I was a big fan of home protection with my previous company. And, I generally would get the seller to cover it. This way we would cover it. So I would love
well,
to have those myself when I do my own, especially in my listings. It became part of my package. So
it's
definitely,
a yeah, it's a great practice. And if there's something that I can get for you, just let me know. And we'll send it to you. And we, in the more normalized market, we always would market to the sellers as and use warranty as a way for sellers to or for agents to kind of enhance their listing proposition
like a
to
banner. This house is protected by American Home Shield. And this
exactly,
way,
exactly,
it gave comfort. It gave
exactly.
comfort to the seller, gave comfort to the buyer, gave comfort to me as the agent that I did my job for both parties.
Exactly. And the best part about the seller option is that nobody has to pay for anything until you close with the warranty, which is great. Um, I always recommend it. It's a great thing to put in place for your sellers, especially on change of season, because our seller coverage will cover heating and air conditioning. And nobody's used their air conditioning since last, what, September? So a house that you're listing now probably won't close until after that air conditioning gets turned on. So what's your plan when it doesn't work, basically? So
Now, I do have a question. If the owner does not know about the issue, it's covered. But what if the owner knows and they disclose that there's an issue? Does it
if it,
cover that?
that's a good question. If you have um, a known defect, um, and the contract has not been put in force yet, then it's going to be pretty much pre-existing in most cases. One of the first things that the technicians are charged with is they have to tell the authorizations team, when did it fail? Can you date the failure? And some things are pretty obvious and easy to date. Some things are not. So, like if you have the burner on your stove, the igniter goes, you can't date that. But if the dishwasher fails and it's been broken for 6 months, they're going to know because there's going to be mold and mildew in the lines, that kind of thing. So, there's certain things that they know to look for. There could be something that maybe the owner didn't know about that that has been going on for a long period of time. The fact that they didn't know, but it has been going on for a long time, wouldn't necessarily get them covered either. But again, every situation is different. Every situation is unique. Every appliance and system is unique. The undetectable pre-existing condition coverage is a huge bonus to those folks that used to get denied for cracks in the heat exchanger, because You can't know that without taking the furnace apart. Your inspector is not going to see it. Your homeowner is not going to know because the furnace is going to keep working. And it's really unfair to hold that seller or buyer accountable for the fact that the heat exchanger cracked, because it's going to crack over time, and it's going to crack in a place where no one can visually see it. And the item's still going to work. It's going to do what the job that it was supposed to do. So how could you possibly know that? That would absolutely be covered. If you can see that it's broken, or you already know that it's broken, then I don't want to send you down a path thinking it's going to be covered, right?
So the home inspection is done. Seller didn't know anything. Buyer now discovered it during a home inspection. The home warranty was put on at the beginning of the listing. Would that be covered?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yep. As long as it's a covered item, obviously. But yeah, so that happens a lot because you got an inspector who's making a few bucks being paid to find those weaknesses, right? So they're looking under the water heater. I mean, you should, I guess homeowners technically should be inspecting their water heaters, but nobody does. Um, they're looking under the sinks, they're turning on everything, making sure it turns on, all those things. So yes.
I have a scenario. I'm taking a listing.
Mhm.
We put a home warranty on it. We're about to go into the summer. Would it be smart for the seller to have someone come out to pre-check the house and make sure it's okay from a home warranty standpoint?
Not necessarily, because um, we don't require that. It's not going to hurt, but we're not going to require that. Um, the one thing that I do want to point out is that, and this is where I think American Home Shield is a little different, has an advantage. Um, when you go on your listing presentation and you talk to the seller about putting coverage on, potentially, for themselves and for the buyer, they may say no up front. Um, and in this market, sellers are not real anxious to commit to buy anything for the buyer, right? But because of will allow you to put that seller coverage on at any point during the listing. So if maybe the seller decides 6 weeks from now, the house has been on the market, they've had no offers, they decide, you know what, I'm going to put a warranty on and try to, add some value to my property, you can do that. We're not going to tell you you can't add it at a later date. So the flip side of that is in this market, and this is what I shared yesterday on the call. If you have a buyer who's making an offer on the property and they want to sweeten their offer a bit, that what they can do is tell that seller that they are going to buy a warranty for themselves at closing. And if that seller takes that offer, then the buyer can extend that seller coverage to that seller while you're under agreement and up through closing. So they've just added some protection for that seller, like you said, through the inspection process. And during that, give or take 60 days between acceptance of the offer and closing. So if something happens with the air conditioner or the water heater happens to break, then that seller now has coverage where they wouldn't under normal circumstances. So there's definitely an added benefit for that seller to take your offer versus someone else's.
I remember two of my clients did get the warranty. One, their water tank went, and all he did was pay the service fee.
Yeah.
And he got a new hot water tank. So he was very happy.
It's really funny because one of the brokers that I used to work with, he actually just recently retired, but he said it's almost like the house knows that it's being sold and the water heater's going to break. And a lot of times it's going to be on your walkthrough that it happens. It's kind of like a get even thing that they do. But absolutely. And if you're flying without a net, then it's all on the seller, who is not a happy camper if they're moving out and they have to buy a new water heater. Exactly. So it's a great protection.
A washing machine that didn't work, and the buyer wound up getting a new washing machine.
There you go. It happens all the time.
The seller while they were still there, and it passed on to the buyer. So I love warranties.
Well, so do I, but then again, that's what I do. So, um, the other thing that I want to point out is that we do offer different pricing for condos and townhomes versus single family detached properties, which is a big bonus. And a lot of times when people have like condos or co-ops, they don't want to put warranties on because they don't think they need them. But you still, in a lot of cases, if it's a co-op, you may have some shared heating or cooling facilities, but in most buildings that have been converted to condos, you're going to have a water heater, you're going to have a washer, a dryer, a dishwasher, and in a lot of cases, your own furnace or air conditioner. So you definitely need to consider putting one on. And excuse me, I think a lot of times it's an overlooked market. We actually have a like a whole brochure that's designated specifically for condos and townhomes because sometimes people think that they don't need it, which is crazy.
Say a landlord get a discount if they have multiple properties and want to make sure their
It depends
rental
on,
properties are covered?
yeah, well, there's two things I want to point out on that. So we don't require that the properties be owner occupied. Okay, so it can be tenant occupied. Some warranty companies won't warrant the house if it's not owner occupied. Um, So that's an important distinction. And then the other thing is if you have multiple units, yeah, but it's going to have to be more than maybe five. I would say, if you have a multi-unit building, like some, top and bottom, or there's 3 units, 4 units, 5 units, we have special pricing for that. Once you get beyond that, then we would have to get a customized price, but we can offer a discount.
And then for a tenant, they have to buy their own refrigerator. They have to buy their own microwave. Landlord only responsible for a stove. Can a tenant get limited coverage, especially including their appliance, not their appliances, their systems as far as their laptops, their computers, as opposed to just,
Yeah,
not having.
they absolutely, they don't have to be the owner of the property to get the coverage. That would work perfectly fine. There's no reason. We don't require proof of ownership. Typically, it's the landlord that will want to buy it. In a lot of cases, what we found is that the landlord will purchase the warranty because they don't have to deal with it. Um, but they make the home or the tenant pay the service fee. So if the tenant has a claim, the tenant's name is on the contract and the tenant can place the work order and pay the service fee. That helps to cut down, as you can imagine, on
The
the number of
cold,
times. Yes,
the bowl that's going down the toilet.
you got it. You got it. That's exactly right.
I
So,
like that scenario. I think I will tell that to my investors.
yes, I think it works out very, very well. It's amazing. Well, it's kind of like dealing with your kids when they have to pay for their own stuff. They're a whole lot more
They
willing to
take
go.
care of it.
Yeah, exactly,
I
exactly.
love it. Love it.
So
So I think that's it as far as my questions. Do you have anything else that you want to contribute so that the agents are educated as to, your
I
services?
guess the only thing that I would share is that we do pay a marketing fee, which is an important thing to the agents. Um, and what I've asked Jennifer Palumbo, who's my local person, to reach out and schedule some training on how that works. It's very, very simple. But just because of the way RESPA works, we have to require that something happen post close. Um, and then after that, um, we want to do some training on our particular product and how our systems work. We have a great online system for ordering warranties and tracking your own business. And that's probably about it for right now.
Who's going to be the main contact and how can we get in touch with that person?
That right now, if anyone has any questions, they can contact me directly. And I shared my contact information on the chat yesterday, and I also emailed it over. So hopefully that's getting communicated. And then
Can you say
when
your
Jennifer
name
gets,
and your phone number and your email on this live too, please?
absolutely. So my name is Lisa, Lisa. Last name is Strano. It's S like Sam, T like Tom, RAN like Nancy, O at AHS, Apple Harry Sam.com. That's my email address and my name. My number is 610-209-9250. And I welcome phone calls, questions, because at the end of the day, you all sell houses, I sell warranties. So you don't expect me to know your business. I don't expect you to know mine. And I always want people to come and ask questions. There are no dumb questions, because I've been at it for 17 years and there are still questions that come up that I can't answer. Right. So we want to make sure that we got to work together. I can't sell these without you. So
Thank you so much, Lisa, for coming through today. And
thank
looking
you.
forward to building our relationship and working with American Home Shields and growing our profit shares.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
That's the bottom line, literally, right?
Right.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
You too. Thank you.
Carlos, you can end this meeting.
Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna hit stop.